Welcome, Manora. Welcome to the Metal Temple interview. I'm really happy to have you here, and I do have here Ivo, the guitarist,
Yes.
Arthur, the keyboarder,
Yeah, that's
and
me.
Mirte, the vocalist.
Yes.
And hopefully you coming through all this COVID period, pandemic, safe, and all your families are safe, all your bandmates are safe. What about in the Netherlands? Did you already declare Freedom Day?
No, unfortunately not yet, but hopefully soon. I heard they're thinking now about letting go of the restrictions.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll see how it goes. But
We're
not
not in
yet.
a lockdown at the moment, so that's a good thing. But there's still some restrictions that we need to deal with.
Right.
But it's heading in the right direction, but you never know, right? It's been 2 years.
Yeah, the same here. How did the pandemic affect your band? How did have you been able to play any live shows during the pandemic, or how was that?
I can take this question. Yeah, so it definitely affected us quite a bit. Luckily, in the first year of the pandemic, we were heavily recording the album. Spent a lot of time on that. We didn't even have time to play any shows. So I guess for us, it kind of came, not at the worst time. So we were able to record everything and with the studio, everything mixed and mastered. And then luckily we were able to play a live show. So once the album was released, we played the album release show, and yeah, that was really great after such a long time to be back on stage and to play the entire album for everyone there. It was a full house. We had that was a great show. We had another show planned 2 weeks after that, but then the next lockdown started. So unfortunately that one was cancelled. Still, I think we should count our blessings that we were able to perform our live our release show. I think it's really the most important show when you release your CD. So yeah, I think we should count our blessings. Be really happy with that. But definitely, it's put us on hold as well. And right now we haven't been able to play any shows since the release show. Well, luckily with things opening up again, we hope we can play again live soon.
The release show has been last autumn, I guess. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
remember the date. It was October.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually the time when also here, Germany and also the surrounding countries, everything was more or less open. Did the pandemic affect the album recording and production release in any way, rehearsals?
Well, yeah, for example, the photo shoot for the album, it has been shifted quite some time because of that. And it was planned, I don't know what was planned, it was already planned in 2020, I believe. And at the end, it was the summer of last summer that we finally were able to have this photo shoot for the album. So also for the artwork, this was all waiting for this. For the recordings, a little bit, because at some point there were restrictions that you were not even allowed to visit people. So and we respect those rules at the time. So for example, Mirte is coming here to my house for recording vocals in my little home studio. So that was she was still able to record some vocal lines from home, but mainly we're recording here. So that was also a bit difficult, but yeah, okay, we managed to cope with this situation, but it was not ideally was not the best situation for this kind of things. But yeah, at least we had something to do with. It was we had to work around the whole thing, but there were enough bands. I mean, they're sitting at home doing nothing. So we are quite lucky that we could at least record an album.
Yeah,
I mean, at the end, it could, if we not had this pandemic, it was probably much more faster. But okay, it is how it is, and the album is there, so we're happy.
Yeah. Little is known actually about Manora, a Dutch symphonic metal band. And let's talk a little about the band's history. How and when did it all start?
It's me and Arthur. Years ago, we know each other from previous bands. It's a bit where it started. Also, that I was writing songs, and me and Arthur were sitting together all the time working on the songs. And at some point, we started Manora, and first it was only me and Arthur and Tijn, so only drums, guitar, and keys. So we started to rehearse the instrumentals of the songs, the basics. That the time some songs were already finished. Some vocal lines were written by the previous singer, and well, the time we thought that that we were ready to record some of them, and that we need a vocalist for new ideas. We discovered Mirte on Facebook, and I sent her a message, and she was enthusiastic, and that's how it happens. And for Thomas, we just placed in an advertisement on the internet, and he responded to that, and he blown us away with his audition. So and since then we have this stable setup. We're still happy with each other, so that's a good thing, even after this this lockdown. I mean, it's a lot of people are sad, and I mean, it's a long winter and we're locked up. So we had our first rehearsal yesterday after 3 months. So we're all quite happy. It's like this. There's after the winter in spring when they let the cows out, they're jumping around.
Well, it is a very critical period, I imagine, especially for a young band, to overcome this long, never-ending winter, isn't it? Yeah,
and it was extra painful because of, like Arthur mentioned, is we had all those big plans. I mean, after the release, was quite busy with booking some more shows, and then all of a sudden this first thing they do was closing down the venues. It was really the first thing in October, 2 months before the lockdown. It's only, from there it's only getting worse for the winter. So it's for us it was really a long winter. It was really depressing to have this album released, and then you see some opportunities to play some shows and to promote your album. And at the end, the only thing that is left is your computer, and you can try to promote it a bit on the internet. But of course, you want to play some live shows, and the only one we did, the people were so enthusiastic, and they want to hear us again, and then there's nothing, and it's still difficult, although it's probably gonna open again. It's still difficult because there's a large queue of bands who wants to play.
That's what I heard. Yeah, it's very difficult to get gigs. Once you got all together, and I think the very first release was an EP called Dream Shapes. I think in 2017. So how was this? How was the response to the EPs?
I think it was all very positive as well. And we are all like perfectionists, so we just made it the best that we could. I think for the EP it was we did most of the things ourselves. Like mostly Ivo did all of the mixing and mastering. But I think we can be really happy with that release, even though it's really homemade.
From Dream Shapes onwards, so your lineup was then from that point onwards stable. Before you did have, I think, very early lineup changes, but from then onwards, from Dream Shapes onwards, it was stable, and which is actually quite good for the band, I guess, because you have some continuity, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's when we got the whole band together. What was it, 2015, and releasing the EP. Maintaining the same lineup for the whole CD, you know, you get to know each other on a musical level very well, and well, as Ivo said, we still like each other, and we are yeah, everyone, you know, I think we really complement each other, and everyone plays their own part, but well, together, you know, we make it the thing that it is, and yeah, you know, we get along well. Also, just outside of the band, we can have fun together, and yeah, I think that also helps to get in the creative mindset, and yeah, to really push the push our capabilities, and yeah, and strengthen each other.
Let's talk about the band members. So I am happy to have you three all on board, and let's start with the individual careers a little bit. Let's start with Mirte. Mirte, you are the vocalist. How did you start vocals? How did you come into metal?
Well, I started singing. I believe my mom says that I already sang before I could speak.
Okay.
So that's been in my blood. Also, my mother's also a singer. So I come from a family of musicians, and so I've always been interested in singing. And when I was a teenager, I believe when I was 14, I discovered Within Temptation. And that's where it kind of started for me, the whole metal obsession. So from that point on, I really wanted to sing in a metal band, and even tried some cover bands. But it didn't quite work out for me. I felt like I wanted to make my own music. So, and that's when I joined Manora. So, yeah.
Do you have a classical education, or?
No, I'm not well, I have singing classes, but it's never been, right now, it's the first time that I'm actually taking classical singing classes. Before it was only more from the pop rock musical field, but I don't have an education in singing. I just take classes.
Okay, but what I hear from many vocalists, they all start from a very, very young age, probably just after birth, they start probably screaming and singing, and yeah, that is probably the way it is with singers. Ivo, let's talk about guitars.
Well, yeah, actually it didn't start with guitars. It started with drumming a long time ago, I think around the age of 7 or 8. I did some drumming for some years, mainly rock, like Toto. I really liked to drum. Then I found the guitar from my dad. I didn't know he had a guitar, but he was hiding it very well. And I started to play, and I think that was around the age of 15. And since then, it's guitar. I had some lessons, but it's difficult for me to stay motivated with playing those skills. For me, it's more the way to go to learn by just hearing songs and try to play the solos, that kind of thing. That's how I teach myself a bit how to play. And yeah, in the early days, I tried to play like a lot of guitarists, Dream Theater. This is actually a bit how it started. I picked up the guitar, and the first thing I tried was to play Dream Theater. So that's not really the way to go, I think. But and I'm not really a guitar player who like those instrumental stuff like Steve Vai, Joe Satriani. I really want to hear the whole picture, like a band. I'm also playing a bit of keyboards. That's when I have some IDs, which I'm recording. Also recording some strings and synth lines. A bit just for the basic idea, and then I send it to Arthur, which is doing a better job.
Maybe a weird question for a Dutchman. How did you come into symphonic metal?
Well, for me, I always liked. I'm a bit older than the other two. It started with Fate No More. It wasn't the first band I've heard with really those string sounds in it, and I really liked it. And later on, in the late 90s, I discovered Nightwish, and then for me this was really something I wanted to do one day. Well, it took quite a while. I started as my own symphonic metal band, but yeah, that's really what started this combination of guitars, strings, choirs, everything. It's so big. If you hear everything, it's really what I like about it. The funny thing is that that time I listened to a lot of symphonic metal. And now, since I'm playing in such a band, I'm not really listening to symphonic metal anymore. Okay. Yeah, there are a lot of bands, but Nightwish, they changed a bit the sound over the years, and I lost a bit of interest in all those bands. I don't know why. Maybe it will come back. It's also for the last year, of course. I really don't know what came on the market for bands, what was released, because we were so busy with our own album. I completely missed a complete year.
And I think there were some great symphonic metal albums coming out last year, so you probably missed a few. Arthur, Arthur, the keyboarder, did you actually start with keyboards, or what are your highlights?
Yeah, I don't remember at what age, but I remember at my parents' place we had just a keyboard, a digital keyboard lying around, and he just started playing melodies. I think one of the first melodies was like the Final Countdown. You know, these kind of very melodic tunes that everyone knows. I started to just practice those by ear. So I also don't have a musical education, just learning everything by ear. And I don't really remember at what age that was. I remember playing in church at the age of 12. That was my first concert, playing in the church, some church melodies, some Christmas melodies. And other than that, yeah, I also started to play piano, but well, we didn't have a piano at home, so that was at the music classes in school, in high school. I played the piano there. And I just, I got really interested in it, and I tried guitar, I tried drums, just wasn't for me. Keyboards, anything with keys, I like to play. And I picked up a blues music book, and that's where I kind of learned some theory. And learn the more complicated chords. And yeah, that's where I learned the theory, and also got to explore a bit different sounds. And for me, in terms of the symphonic metal, I think Within Temptation and Nightwish were and Sonata Arctica actually more power metal. That's what got me into the genre. and I played in some other bands before, cover bands, hard rock bands where I did some singing. But yeah, I went back to playing keyboards, and especially with symphonic metal, where the keys are such a important instrument. Yeah, that's why I really like playing this music.
Excellent. Let's come to the album. Brave the Storm, released October 2021. It's already 3 or 4 months. How was the response so far on the album?
We're really happy with it. I think we've had a lot of really positive reviews. Also, our fans, I don't think I really have heard any negative comments so far. So that's really, I think, yeah, that's really unique. So I'm really happy with it. Yeah.
I think also one of our songs, I forgot her name, but one of our reviewers that said that one of our songs was the best song of 2021, which is, I think, one of the biggest compliments you can get. So yeah, very positive reviews.
Yeah, that sounds. Ivo.
No, yeah, I think she even compared it with Big Nightwish song, and that was really, really nice when you get such a compliment.
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. I said Brave the Storm has epic melodies and harmonies, catchiness, bombastic orchestral arrangement, and an excellent vocalist to keep it all together. Is this actually a winning formula for successful symphonic metal?
Yeah, well, we want to make the music that we also like to hear. And I don't know if it's a winning formula, but for me, symphonic metal indeed needs to be this catchiness always, and these big arrangements with this bombastic background choirs and stuff. That's those are the main ingredients for me. This kind of music needs to have, and I think it's all in it. So we are not inventing the wheel. I mean, it's a lot of reviewers just say, well, it's catchy, it's all good, but it's not something that I never heard before. And but that's also, yeah, that's not what we are aiming for, to invent the wheel. Of course, we are trying to improve. The next album needs to be better than the first one, so that's challenging. So we're already writing new songs, but yeah, that's a bit how we think. Yeah, this is the symphonic metal, how it sounds in the Manora way.
Yeah, it's how we really want to make the symphonic metal. I think this album is really, it really describes what we want to sound like, I think.
So how would you actually describe or characterize the sound of Brave the Storm?
I think, like Ivo said, I think the catchiness of it is really important. Also, I try to, when I write the vocal lines, I try to make it really catchy, so people like that it sticks in your head. So I think that's a really, really important component that describes our music.
I also think we have a lot of different layers in the melody. Like the strings melody, the vocal melodies, they're always very different. We try not to have the vocal line be the same as the strings, and also the brass instruments, the choirs, they all sing their own melody, and it has to fit together. And that is sometimes a challenge. Sometimes melodies can be conflicting, or parts of melodies. So yeah, spend a lot of time trying to fine tune those melodies and make them sound good together. And I think these different layers also give the listener something to listen to every time they listen to the song. Like, oh, the choir is doing this and the brass is doing that. So yeah, I think that makes it interesting as well to keep listening to.
Yeah, that's also a bit of our problem Mirte described earlier. We're doing all the instruments and also all those additional instruments. We are doing it by ourselves. We're not working with a composer or anything. If my guitars are recorded and the synths are recorded, then we're still not finished. Then all the additional instruments needs to be done. A lot of bands, they just hire some guy for that, and we are too control freak for that. So the only part we outsourced was the intro.
Okay.
We started with that, and that time the release date was more or less planned already, and then we find out we probably would have a time conflict. A guy from another band, he offered his work before, and to work together with him. I sent him. I contacted him, and I must say he did a very good job with this intro. The basic idea came from us, and he worked more or less around it. So that's really nice, and it was quite quick. So maybe in the future we will work again with him. I must say this, although we really control freak, he blown us away with this, and was really nice.
That is actually one of my questions. Who is actually creating the orchestral arrangements?
Me and Arthur.
Yeah, we do that together. I think Ivo always comes up with the initial idea, the initial melodies. Even for the strings, which is is what I play live. So that's my main instrument, main sound. Ivo usually comes up with the initial melodies, to which I then build a whole arrangement around it. And well, as I was saying earlier about tweaking these conflicting melodies, that's usually on my plate. Ivo's like, oh, I hear something here that doesn't sound right, and then I dive into it and also look at the music theory, see what we can do to solve it. So it's a nice collaboration that we the two of us do.
And I just give my opinion.
You give your opinion, and but I think probably the songwriting starts, I guess, with the riffs and with guitars, bass, drums, etc. before it comes to your orchestra, isn't it?
It actually starts with a melody, right, Ivo?
I always write from a melody or some kind of a melody or vocal line which is stuck in my head, and I write my music around that. I need that, otherwise I cannot start with a song. I cannot just start to play a riff or something. That doesn't work for me. So sometimes when this the basic idea is sent around to the others, it contains already choirs and some additional layers, because I want to give a good complete picture already, if possible, of course, to the rest. Most of the time is changing a lot afterwards, because when Mirte is adding her vocal lines, that's leading, of course.
And it also depends on the song. There are songs that we write a bit differently. Some with, well, of course, the ballad is completely piano based, so that is, well, from my part. But also there are other songs where the bridge, for example, started off with a guitar riff. Usually these are very riff heavy. So it depends on the song. It doesn't always go the same way, but yeah, in general, this is how it goes.
We also had one song. Pull the Strings was the basis was by Tijn, right?
Yeah, the drummer. Yeah.
But Mirte, you said you give your opinion, but definitely you will give them the vocal lines at some stage. Well. So not only opinion, or maybe both opinion and vocal lines. how do you create the lyrics, and where do you get your inspirations from when you are creating the lyrics?
For me, it usually starts so I start writing my vocal lines and lyrics when there is a bass idea. So when there is like a demo of a song, and I basically just listen to it a lot, and then I just, it gives me a feeling, and I start to like, sometimes there's words connected to what I hear, and then I start building around those words, and then it gets to a theme, and on and on. And sometimes it's I really start writing about a specific subject, and start with that. So it's really different. It depends.
Do you have some favorite subjects you like writing about?
Well, I've noticed that it's mostly negative things.
Oh, okay.
So far, but also, yeah, so yeah, just random thoughts. Sometimes it's based on my own experiences, sometimes it's based on something I read in like the news or in a book. Could be everything that I just come into contact with.
Okay. I was trying to pick some favorite songs of the album. It was difficult. Well, I definitely like Beautiful Tragedy and The Heavens. What are your favorite songs and why?
It changes for me a lot. I think right now I really like Beautiful Tragedy as well. That's always been one of my favorites because it's got a bit of a spooky vibe to it, and I really like that. So yeah, that's mine at the moment.
Well, yeah, for me, it's always also changing. But if I look back how the writing process was, then it's also a beautiful tragedy. Because the basics of the song were written quite quickly, and we all had this ideas about this song we added, and it was really a really good collaboration with all the band members. So that's why it's my favorite. Hopefully we could write more songs like this in the future, and also the way of writing, that everyone is involved, and we really had a quick process with this song.
Yeah, for me, I'm actually quite torn between two songs. One is Pull the Strings, and the other one is Break Your Fall. And the main motivator for me is how I play them live. I really like playing, well, both of these songs live. I'm just gonna pick Break Your Fall. The bridge of Break Your Fall to me is the favorite thing to play. Yeah, in the bridge you start with the strings, and I think then the brass comes in, then the choir comes in. It just gets bigger and bigger, while actually the strings is playing the same melody over and over again, but it gets bigger and bigger. And I really like playing this part live. So that to me is the main motivator, how I feel about it, performing it.
Another big topic is the release of videos. You released via Tour B, and it is something like a band plays song video, but not only. It has a story, and it has some pictures on around it. So it's not only really typically band playing. So how does the video process work actually with you guys, from the idea up to the video shoot? How does it work?
I think we were really lucky in that regard that we had two amazing videographers who knew what they were doing, because this was our first music video. So we didn't have specific ideas yet, and also we didn't know what would work, what wouldn't work. At first we had like this idea that we would play with the entire band in one room, but then we had COVID restrictions, so that couldn't happen. So it was an added difficulty to it, and we just sat down with the guys the videographers, and we just spoke about what we wanted, what they envisioned for this song. So it was really a collaborative thing.
Come the ideas for the video from you, or is it a professional agency, or what? How does it work?
I can't actually remember. We think we selected a few of those companies, let's say. We talked to all of them, and we had the best feeling with the one who did the video. I think I can't actually remember. I think they came, like Mirte said, with the first idea. I think they asked us where the lyrics were about, and they came with the idea, and of course we have added some things like this computer animation. You see this guy turning around, and that is what we have done ourselves.
I think we also added the idea for the wires, right? Yeah. So I wrote the lyrics mainly about like being the feeling of like having to conform to a certain expected way of being from society. And I imagined that with like the wires attached to you, like you're stuck in what is expected by society that you do. So I tried to like explain that to them, and then they had some cool ideas, and we had some cool ideas. So it was really like a dialogue about it.
Okay, so in the end, at the video, actually, you have your bandmates wired.
Yeah.
And you are basically pulling the strings on the
I'm
computer.
basically society.
Yeah, you are the society on the computer up to the system failure, which is then at the end of the video. Do you also pull the strings in Manora?
I wouldn't say that. I'm usually really sweet, right?
Yeah. Don't make her mad. Keep the singer happy. No.
I can have some strong opinions, I think, but I think we're all not really big egos. I think that's also why it works so good together. Because we're not arrogant people or something. We don't all want to take the spotlight or something. We don't want to like be in charge of everything without like actually listening to the others. So I think that's also what makes it work.
We do. All of us have strong opinions, and of course sometimes the opinions don't match. But yeah, we are always able to work around that. That's I think if we, as Mirte said, we don't have the ego here, and as long as we're able to communicate around these issues that we have, we always end up in the right place.
In any case, it is a very good video, and I think it also fits to the lyrics. Is there something more planned, a second video release from the album? Is there something in planning or in the making?
We would really like to, but it does cost a lot of money.
Oh yes.
And we need to perform to earn money. So hopefully in the future we will make another video, but it might not be I don't know what exactly will be planned, but it might not be a song from the album. Maybe it's an entire different song. Like Ivo said, we're already writing new stuff, so it could also very well be that it's just a single later in the year or something.
Let's switch the topic. A topic I love is inspirations. And I always try to present it in a slightly different way with every of my interviews, and I thought, okay, I will start with statements, and you guys will finish the statements. Okay.
Okay.
Interesting. Yeah.
Let's start with Arthur.
Okay.
I give you the statement, and you complete the statement. Sharing the stage with
Friends.
friends. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Why friends? You mean your bandmates, I guess.
Exactly. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm not, yeah. Well, you asked me to
Yeah.
to finish the statement, and yeah, I think of this as like yeah, standing with our friends or with my friends on stage and performing, and I think we really connect well when we are on stage.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's maybe not the inspiration.
But no, it can give you it can give you inspiration. So that
well, it does as well. Yeah.
yeah, if that is a source of inspirations, yes. So excellent. Mirte and Ivo, what's your take on that? Well, obviously a very nice statement.
Yeah, it's very hard to pass this. I don't know.
You mean then you want to know which band, I think.
That was actually intent of my question, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think a long time ago we said once, okay, it should be nice, really nice, if you could play once with delay.
Yeah.
That was just after the EP, and there was a thing we, well, not tried, but that was really a bit of the idea of one day we play a show with delay. I don't know if it's ever going to happen now.
Yeah. we don't know. We don't know. But yeah.
So so that was the one which was still in my head.
But I would think Delane would have been a very good fit.
Yeah, I think so too.
Mirte.
I'm gonna dream big and say Nightwish.
Yeah, of course, you should.
That's like the end goal, I think.
Okay, let's go to this next statement. And I think I have something for Ivo. It's about guitarists. Okay. My favorite 3 metal guitarists are...
3 metal guitarists. What would I say? As a really technical guitar player, Paul Gilbert. In the past, I watched a lot of his videos. And the guy is really fun. Then I think let's go for that guy, Tomasz, the old guitarist from Leiden. He's technical, really good. And what would be the third one? Let's say Arjen Lucassen.
Okay, yeah.
But more because he is. This is also a guy who is doing the complete picture of a song. That's really what I like. I'm also not a really good technical guitar player. I'm playing for the band, let's say, and when I'm writing, I'm not trying to focus on my guitarist. It's the whole thing around, and that's what he does as well. I mean, he's a great composer. He's seeing everything. So
yes. Yeah. How do your favorite guitarists inspire you?
No, honestly, not so much anymore. In the old days, I was in the old days on my list was John Petrucci, let's say. He's still somewhere on this list. And when I was writing music or trying to play some solos, I tried to be like him. I don't have that really. I don't have that anymore. I found those from Paul Gilbert. I learned a lot. Same as Marty Friedman. That's for example. Those guys were all big already at the time I started playing guitar. So I learn a lot from them just by watching their videos. Tomasz, he's great. He's maybe the best metal guitar player we have in the Netherlands. This guy amazes me every time when I see him playing. And of course in the Leiden, he was also really good. Ian Lucas, of course, I don't have to say how good he is, but yeah, how does it inspires me for now? I'm not really inspired by guitar players. It's more by bands, the complete collaboration. That's more what's inspiring me. So not the guitar only.
Okay. Mirte, I have it a little bit different for you. Okay, so the statement you need to complete is, and it is, I would love to have XXX, you need to complete that, as a guest vocalist on the next Manora album.
Florianse. Although I'm not sure that's a good idea because she's gonna outshine me. But she is my favorite vocalist because her voice is just amazing. She can do everything. She can do classic, she can do rock, she can even grunt. She can actually do everything. So that's, if I would say that, yeah, that's my biggest inspiration for sure.
Okay. Are there more favorite vocalists from metal or also non-metal? I learned that vocalists quite often have non-metal favorite vocalists.
Yeah, for me, I do still listen to symphonic metal also a lot. I also listen to yeah, some other genres, but like when I have to say, like, my inspiration comes mainly from metal vocalists. I think Scholtze Vessels is also high on my list for like, I think the same reason. She's also really good at like different styles. She can also grunt, I think, and I think she also has a really large range. So she can sing low and she can sing really high, and that's also what I strive for. So I also try to challenge myself by making, like, writing lower parts for myself, so I can also experiment with that. I think she also really does that.
Okay. Are you, maybe in the future, are you aiming to become a growler, perhaps? Or are you already?
Well, I am practicing sometimes, but I'm not sure if it fits my voice. So far, it's really it's not really impressive yet. You want like growls to be really low, really like yeah, intimidating, and I think my voice is just too clean, or too high, maybe too sweet to do grunts. So, but who knows, maybe in the future we'll hear me grunting.
In Manora.
Yes.
So Arthur and Ivo, you might have to change a little bit the songwriting then.
Yeah. Well,
no place for a keyboard player.
Actually, this grunting we had a little bit. I think even on the EP, with a little grunt part, but we decided a bit after the EP that we want to get rid of all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are not really, not really fan of it to have it in our songs. But you never know, where for the future things can change.
Who knows? Who knows? Coming back to the inspiration topic. Okay, we know about your individual inspirations and how it all works. How does it actually affect the sound then of Manora?
Not
think
really.
we all have our separate inspiration sources. Also with Thomas and the bass player and Tijn the drummer, we all have such different taste in music, and I think we bring our own taste in music together in Manora. And I don't think there's one specific band that really, we don't want to sound like a specific band. There are bands that influence us more. But altogether, I think it's the variety in our personal preferences that make the sound of Manora.
I think the main band we all like is Eskimo Cowboy.
No, that's true. Yeah.
But that's not an inspiration.
No.
But a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. One topic we have to discuss is, of course, symphonic metal in the Netherlands. And it looks like symphonic metal was invented in the Netherlands, and it seems to be that symphonic metal is taught at Dutch schools. Is it actually a challenge or opportunity for a young Dutch symphonic metal band? You have in your country so many great and a lot of successful symphonic metal bands. Challenge or opportunity?
It's
I think both.
yeah, I think it's a bit challenging to be a symphonic metal band in the Netherlands, because we have big names, but symphonic metal in the Netherlands is not that big at the moment. It's really if you play in a death metal band, it's much easier to get a gig somewhere. The genre itself is not so big in Holland. I think you're better off when you're in Germany.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like because you can compare it maybe a bit to Scandinavia, because there's a lot of Scandinavian symphonic metal bands as well. But I believe there it's more like pop music. It's more like it's a really popular genre also for the main public. And I feel like in the Netherlands there's a lot of export, but there's not a lot of Dutch people who like the music. Mm-hmm. So it always stays a bit underground. So it's really a strange situation. And but I also feel like there's also a lot of like bands, well, maybe not anymore because they all break up because of Corona.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of smaller bands that are in our genre there, and that provides an opportunity, because then you can play gigs together.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it's both.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, the big guns in Dutch symphonic metal, they are more than 20 years old. So Leiden, Epica, and a band like Manora, it's the next generation. Do you feel ready to take over and carry the Dutch symphonic metal flag for the next 20 years?
Well, yeah, actually I'm as old as the guys from Leiden. I think I'm even from the same year as Tomasz. But we're just starting, so we have enough ideas for the next years. So hopefully they will not be finished, because I don't see it as a competition. I mean, you can like several bands, so hopefully Nightwish will be there for a long time, same as Leiden. I don't know how they will return, but probably it's still quite good. So, but yeah, I mean, we are only looking forward to the future, and to release new songs and bring the next album, and from there we continue to the next one. So let's see how where it ends. Of course, it ends somewhere, but not before we play that Wacken.
Another challenge, I would think, for a young band is the search for a label. You are an independent band, still an independent band? I don't know. What are the main challenges for an independent band, and are you looking for a label?
I think that's also one of the things that we struggle with, is that we're all control freaks. So we had a few meetings with some labels, but we really want a label that really understands our music and really understands what we want, and lets us do like most of our creative stuff. And it's really difficult to find a label that really fits to what exactly we want. Maybe we're too like critical or something, I don't know. But so far we haven't found any label that that really understands us. But maybe in the future this will. We're definitely open to it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, probably a label would have probably also helped now during the Corona period, isn't it? If we would have label support.
Ooh,
maybe.
Difficult to say.
But you also have to pay a label.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you don't have an income as a band, then it's going to be really hard with a label. So yeah, I think it could have helped, but it could have also just ruined us financially.
Okay. It's probably all not easy, I guess. What are the future plans for Manora for the upcoming months? I know it's difficult to plan. We might see a light at the end of a tunnel now in spring, but how do you plan?
we for now we just want to enjoy the CD, let's say, because we were really it's people underestimated a bit, I think, but it's really a lot of work. The preparation, of course, we did first the video. That was a bit of to introduce ourselves in a good way, with the good mixing and mastering of the song, with a video clip. That's also the purpose as a sort of a kickoff for the crowdfunding we did. And since November, now maybe earlier, after summer 2020, we were only busy with the video clip, this crowdfunding campaign, recording the album. We also had to finish a few songs that time, releasing the album. And then after that, we just want to sit back and enjoy everything. And then everything was locked. So we really want to play some songs and to play our album live for the crowd. Well, we're really busy with writing to venues and for festivals in the summer. Of course, there are a lot of fishes in the sea, so it's difficult. What it's also making difficult is that a lot of festivals from last year were postponed to this year, and they just take the bands from last year to this year, and that's a bit shit, because we have a fresh album and we can wait for next year, but then it's not a fresh album anymore. So we try to make the best out of it, and hopefully we can soon be on stage again. But we just I'm already writing new material. That's what I like to do here in my attic, in my little home studio, and we just continue with that, and as soon we have enough songs, we start with the new album. We're not making any promises. So that I mean, some bands, they want to release every 2 years. That's nice, but that's not a main goal. I mean, we have all quite a busy job besides of the music. And it's just sometimes you're tired, sometimes you're really busy with work, the study, and for all of us, this work, this is the best. How do you say it? combination. Personally, I would never be a full-time musician, I think. I really love the work I do, and this doing beside it is just perfect. So sometimes things take a bit longer, but okay, yeah. First now it's playing the album live. That's really something we are aiming for now, and then from now working on new songs, a new album. That's and that will keep us busy for quite some time.
Excellent. I hope you will be, successful with writing the new songs, and I really would look forward to the new album, because I thought the Brave the Storm was a really awesome album, and it was really you did a great job there. I'm almost at the end with my questions. Final word. Do you want to say anything to your fans and the readers of Metal Temple?
I think we would like to say to all of the fans who are sticking with us, who listen to our music, that we want to thank them, and we really hope to see everyone at one of our gigs soon, or a festival. So yeah.
We really, and I would like to really thank all the people for the great response for the album we've got and still got, and also to you, that you would for having us for this interview. I mean, it's a big honor for us to that people are asking us for this kind of things. I mean, who have ever thought about it, that people that you're writing, you're making music, and people are liking your songs. It's amazing.
Excellent. Very nice final word. So thank you so much for the interview. I really enjoyed that, and I wish you all luck in the world, that that your dreams come true. And thank you very much for that interview. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All this time I've lived my life, never stepping out of line, never straying from the path, the laid out road for strength.